All right, thanks, Sydney. Hi, everybody. Thanks for being here. I'm Tom Marlowe with Black Hills AI, and I'm excited today to be joined by Rob Dott and Sean Pilkington from Decipher IP. Rob is the founder and CEO, Sean, the director of sales and account management, and they're going to be given us some interesting looks into uh, their software, Decipher, and how it might work with an automation process working with Black Hills. Okay, so if you've been here before, on the next slide here, I'll give a quick recap and set the stage on how we view IP process automation. I'm going to try and keep my part of the presentation high level and brief so we can quickly kind of get on over to the good stuff. So IP process and automation is a relatively simple concept at its core. It's about workflows and interactions. The goal being making work easier, faster, higher quality, or any combination or all of the above. Without getting too technical, you need some input of data. That's over on the left here. And then that data gets processed, transformed, combined, adjusted so that it becomes usable to achieve some end goal. Reminders, document creation, analysis, that type of thing. Oftentimes, this process data is pushed to another system to drive action and store things for reference. That's the integration component. This might include reporting to people on the other end who need to act upon the process data, paralegals, attorneys, internal, external clients, that type of thing. Of course, an added benefit of driving process off of data is that the data can also have supplemental value. And here at Black Hills, we and other innovative companies work to improve user experience, of course, Decipher included, in how our customers interact with that data. As I'm sure you're all keenly aware and interested, there's many opportunities for improving efficiency, quality, and speed these days, and the key lies in the tools to harness those opportunities. If we go to the next slide here, this is a admittedly busy slide, better for reference, really. But it's here to provide some more detail around each of the high-level steps that I just went over. These types of maps are really helpful for understanding your processes. So feel free to take this as a guide and map your own steps and systems on top of a base like this. So as an example, in our field, that input step could be correspondence from the patent office that gets scraped, processing of emails, foreign agent interfaces like Black Hills HANU portal, or calculations from like our annuity system. That's my shameless plug for Black Hills IP renewals and integrations with systems like Decipher. For processing at Black Hills AI, we OCR everything. That's this next level, right? Run extensive rules to determine what document it is, key data needed, that type of thing. Machine learning and artificial intelligence would be included here for sure. Sometimes for document determination, other times for quality control as well. Of course, Decipher is an integration partner, so we're able to push data into their system to drive further process. And I don't want to steal the show here, so I'll let Rob and Sean eventually get into those details. But I will say, coming from an in-house background myself, I'm always excited to work with corporate AIM systems like this. Of course, I don't want to overlook some of the interesting peripheral process examples too that can be powered by this data and this flow. This could be shells, IDS management, pushing reference data over to systems like Decipher, analytics, all areas where products are available, and we're able to kind of continue working to drive more innovation in these areas. Okay, well, with that, I'm going to go ahead and hand things over to Adam on our team, who I think I overlooked on the first slide, introducing Adam Reese, our IP automation lead and expert. And he's going to be able to give us a little bit more detail specifically on the automation front.
Thanks, Tom.
Yeah.
So what we can do for as Black Hills is augment kind of existing docketing and annuity capabilities. As Tom mentioned, we can fetch and receive input from various sources. And then with that, we can, once we have that input, we can collect and extract data from those documents, agents, and patent offices. Our systems will transform that initial input into actionable data, and we'll talk about that in a second here, that can power the docketing processes and make them tailored to any sort of workflow. So when we get a document in, it can typically be broken into kind of further sub-document workflows based on what data is captured, what data is already in the system. And to make it more concrete, we can think of workflows such as interview summaries for US patents, where you want to check, is there a response required? Is there an open office action that the due date should be aligned with? Or if not, is it a 1 month or a 30-day due date that applies? Black Hills can make that decision simple and tailor it to your firm in terms of, or your company in terms of which one, depending on how you want to docket it. Another common workflow would be kind of delving into non-final rejections. So as many of you may have experienced, the US Patent Office label of those documents doesn't always tell the full story. We can analyze the document to determine if there are discrepancies, such as the document indicating a final rejection, whether there are additional deadlines, looking both at checkboxes and within the document text. So that could be a restriction due date or drawings due date, or there are multiple due dates that could be there. And we can even look at if the case is prioritized in the patent office. And based on those findings and the workflows we've worked with you to define, we can docket it accordingly. Those are some of the more common areas we see, but we're not limited in our capabilities to drive less common workflows either. When we work with anyone, we can go through either with our standards or look document by document and analyze and optimize existing processes, provide added value where it's needed with our data extraction capabilities and workflow processes, and eliminate noise, all of which is going to empower your staff to work on more complex tasks and your business to make data-driven decisions. And now I'll hand it over to the Decipher IP folks.
Yeah, there we go. Thanks everyone for being here. I'm Rob Datt, the CEO of Decipher IP. Although Black Hills has a variety of tools that address both the corporate side and the law firm side, we specifically specialize in IP asset management software for corporate legal departments. So sort of think patents, patent applications, inventions, copyrights, contracts, NDAs, licensing agreements, and a whole lot more. And we recognized a gap in the market really for a more effective IP management solution that's tailored specifically for IP administrators, portfolio managers, and inventors, ultimately addressing unmet needs that we see in the corporate IP department. So our goal at Decipher is to simplify and optimize the development, management, and the commercialization of intellectual property for corporate legal departments. shift to the next slide. So what's the problem or the challenge we're trying to address? In our viewpoint, the challenge or problem primarily stems from an evolution in the structure and the needs of corporate IP legal departments over the last couple of decades. So historically, these departments relied heavily on docketing software due to the integral role of IP attorneys within the organization, focusing mainly on traditional task scheduling, calendaring, and the tracking of IP related deadlines. But with the shift towards outsourcing patent development prosecution to outside counsel or OC, we see the reliance on traditional docketing software and multiple additional software tools has really become inefficient and insufficient for today's requirements. So in our view, this shift necessitated a change in the tools used by corporate legal departments to manage their IP more effectively, really accommodating the current trend of externalizing patent development and prosecution. Go to the next slide. So how are we approaching this problem or challenge? What we're doing at Decipher is we're advocating for a streamlined approach, utilizing a single point software solution for the management of the entire IP lifecycle. So this would include ideation, searching, filing, docketing, maintenance, analysis, reporting, and then ultimately generating actionable insights for the business. So our belief is that a unified solution that leverages a single database can significantly enhance the efficiency and collaboration within a corporate IP legal department, and ultimately eliminating the need for outdated software centered on docketing as the IP management systems foundation. So by integrating Black Hills docketing feed into our platform, we're able to enhance our existing shadow docketing framework, which we believe ensures that scheduling and tracking IP-related deadlines are seamlessly managed. The collaboration and the integration with Black Hills also facilitates maintenance payments, which will provide a direct interface for scheduling and executing these payments right within our platform. So I want to give just a real quick overview of the collaboration or partnership. I think Black Hills has a number of tools that they've developed, and they've got a whole bunch in the pipeline as well that we'll be looking forward to bringing into our platform down the road. But today we want to focus on 3 specific integrations that extend our capabilities to include advanced docketing, annuity management, and then access to USPTO file histories, which we believe with the integration of these 3 key components offers a comprehensive unified management tool set. So this integration brings shadow docketing capabilities, annuity tracking, and a payment interface, and then the full access to the USPTO image file histories directly to users of Decipher IP. And I'll turn it over to Sean here in a minute, but Sean's going to dive a little bit deeper into how these integrations enhance the IP management process, which will detail the specific benefits for the primary users.
Oh, good day, everybody. Thank you for your time. Sean Pilkington here. Been in the IP and innovation software management space for 25 plus years. And just to underscore what Rob said, there has been a fundamental shift in the way that corporate departments have been structured. Typically in the past, a lot of in-house prosecution, but over the years, there's been a fundamental shift to moving that to outside counsel. And having multiple OCs typically around the world, for a worldwide corporation, helping to manage and prosecute the IP. Furthermore, there's limited resources and support in house, so they have to do more with less, and they're really looking at things from a transactional nature. So what we're looking at right now is an overview of our docketing assist integration with Black Hills IP. Quickly here, you can kind of see a consolidated docket report with all your matters here. We can schedule and import and updates of these docket matters through the Black Hills IP feed. And again, allowing for a very intuitive shadow docketing of your outside counsel. From here, you can easily pull up these cases. There's typically multiple activities and actions associated with each matter, and these are split out by role, right? You have your outside counsel that are managing certain communications and development, but then you might have in-house paralegals or in-house counsels, that would be managing these activities. So in one view here, we can schedule reviews, sign, and see all actions and tasks related to these different roles for a particular case. And then we can validate those particular actions. And then with the Black Hills IP feed, again, we can be able to sync and get that information from the PTOs to validate that those activities and actions have been attended to. Again, if you were to split this out and try and do these individually, case by case, task by task, OC by OC, it becomes a pretty unruly mess very quickly. So the tools are now what's driving the efficiency within aside the corporate markets, because you can only throw so many people at it, right? You have to have automation in order to help those individuals get at the data, get at the activities, and get at their actions in an efficient manner. If we could flip to the next slide one more time. One more slide. So again, focusing on the corporate market, some of the benefits to the different roles were, from an IP management perspective, administrator, they have a validation view where they can then validate and create new actions and activities accordingly. They can manage the completions of all these tasks. They have instant access to all the patent records, the action records, all the correspondence, email, with a couple clicks of a mouse. So again, not chasing down rabbit holes, looking through your Outlook or your Gmail endlessly to find, where the important pieces of correspondence that drive the decisions. They're all in one place, so in one dashboard. And again, from a change perspective, being able to see the history very quickly of what's gone on in the past, what's scheduled in the future, gives these IP administrators the ability and the breadth to manage ever larger kind of portfolios more efficiently. Go on to the next slide, please. Now, from a higher corporate level standpoint, the portfolio managers, they are looking at managing typically slices of their technologies. You've got business units, you've got technology lines, you have product lines, and all the IP that supports them. So again, being able in one place to sort and apply filters to get at those tasks, the relevant analysis that you can do. One of the things we find a lot in the corporate market, and this has been increasingly a trend over the last decade, is to map IP, directly to things like technologies or products or business units, or even getting down even in granular levels, like looking at products and then slicing those up and looking at the components or the subcomponents and then aligning the IP. When you're looking at things from that granular level, you got to have a way in which to be able to automate and collate, if you will, or curate really all the data that's necessary around that particular piece of IP that's supporting key business functions and key revenue drivers. So again, corporate cost management, focus on spending the right dollars on the right projects per se. One of the things we hear all the time is, where is the spend going and what's our future spend? So, and a very important component or piece of the cycle here is managing, the annuities themselves. So what you're looking at right here is, again, a very similar view to the docketing assistant, where we've got a single consolidated dashboard that allows us to see all of our IP in its different jurisdictions with its upcoming dates and deadlines and due dates. So you can easily track these renewal dates. again, we have the flexibility to be able to import and update these on, whatever frequency the corporate client wishes. Sometimes it's monthly, sometimes it's quarterly. Again, you have to have the flexibility to work like the clients do. Furthermore, when you are looking at annuities, there's internal decisions that need to be made before you can actually instruct and provide payment instructions to your annuity provider. So again, from a workflow standpoint, from a task management standpoint, we've got schedulers built into the software that allow us to, or allow our corporate clients to be able to get all the parties in-house that are necessary to review the technology, review its implementation, determine whether or not this is a piece of IP that we need to keep going forward or not. And then again, with the integration with Black Hills IP, to be able to execute that internal interactive payment directly through their portal. One of the things we're not seeing in this particular view is the actual connection to the BHI portal. But again, those payment instructions that will flow through, and you'll have access to their portal, be able to pull those up. One of the other things I think is worth noting is that as you execute these payments and you're looking, to review and do, just make decisions on upcoming payments, we see a lot of corporate clients, schedule like once a year, things like portfolio pruning exercises, where they'll, exhaustively go through their portfolio and examine every piece of IP, especially those that, as it relates to, are coming up for annuity decisions and payment, to determine whether or not, this is a cost that they could continue to bear, or, they can take that asset and they can do something with it, whether or not they would drop that asset entirely, or divest of that asset, or license it out, or sell it. It gives them commercial decision options. Again, which is a very complex thing to do, but you've got a consolidated interface to see all that information, schedule the reviews, and then again, execute the payments directly through Black Hills IP. Next, let's go to the next. Yeah, there you go. Go back up one slide. There we go. Oh, no, go down. Next slide. There we go. Thank you. All right. So this getting down in kind of the nitty gritty, right, of the docket and the asset management themselves. So when you have a piece of IP, you want to be able to very quickly, again, from a shadow docketing perspective, without actually having to provide and run that docket software yourself in-house, but you want to be able to gain, immediate access to all the transactions and documents pertaining to that particular case. So what we're looking at here is, again, a consolidated dashboard that offers a combined view of both the transactions and the documents in a single report format for a particular case. One of the chief complaints that we've been hearing from our client base over the last recent time here is with the advent of the USPTO launching its new patent center. There was a lot of interesting information that came out of that, but they then kind of split and put different data in different silos. So now, in order to get a consolidated view of your data, you have to go to Patent Center and other resources at the PTO to get the transactions and the documents. So what we're providing here is a consolidated interface where you can gain quick access to each one. Furthermore, you can filter and report on particular activity types. So if I'm only interested in particular things like response to final office actions, or a communication of a power of attorney, I can quickly sort through the different task types and get at those very quickly. The other thing that we hear often from our corporate clients is that by having functionality like this, it actually saves them some money from a OC perspective, because they're not constantly having to reach out and find updates, get updates from their outside counsel because they have that ready access. Furthermore, having that ready access to all that data information allows them to be more deliberative in their communications with their outside counsel. So instead of having kind of a merry-go-round of communications around a particular matter or a task, they can be much more direct, and it'd be a consolidated and much more efficient communication stream around that. And then, of course, you can download all this data, immediately to your desktop. You can get those documents locally, or again, they can be housed in Decipher through the feed with Black Hills IP. So if we could go on here, I think at this point, one more. We would love to be happy to follow up with anybody that has deeper dive questions offline. Our contact information is here. And at this point, I think I'd like to throw it back to the Black Hills folks and open it up for a question and answer.
Yeah, thanks, Sean. Thanks for showing off those features. It's like I mentioned, having been in corporate practice, there's always a nuance to finding the right tools to manage internal practice without maybe needing the full large scale law firm style docketing systems. And also having those additional features that are really helpful for when you're managing a portfolio from in-house, like the budgeting perspective, particularly super helpful. So thanks for going through that and showing those items off. I'm going to open up the floor now to questions, and let's see what we have. Okay, so the first question that I've got here is, do companies have more than just the IP group log in to Decipher? Oh, okay. So do you see companies have their product lines or inventors or those types of folks also using the tool, or is it primarily the the legal IP group?
Yeah, so this has been also another kind of fundamental shift over, been in this 25 years. And, at the beginning, it was always the purview of the IP pros internal, so the in-house counsel, the paralegals. The fundamental shift that's happened over time is that people realize that there's many hands that make that piece of IP, and they're all crucial to the equation. So we've got our system is utilized by, the entire breadth of the roles from within inside the business, starting with, the ideation part, so the engineers, the researchers, the product developers, they have a hand in, creating the ideas, creating the invention disclosure. So they touch the IP. So there's a role for them. You've got the product managers, the portfolio managers, the business managers that are running, entire business units, and they need to know, is this component that we are going to be developing for this engine going to be covered properly, such that we can, bring it to market. So they have a role. And then, of course, you've got all the all the IP pros themselves. So, the counsel, the paralegals that are managing the interactions with the outside counsel. And then at the end of the day, there's always a focus on cost. So, even things like controllers, CFOs are getting direct data, direct feeds, direct reports from Decipher, integrating with accounting and SAP packages. So, we can bring that data in and kind of coalesce it with the IP data. So, yes, there's multiple roles that we see in the IP management, and Decipher supports all those roles.
Nice.
Rob, do you have anything else to add there?
Yeah, one comment I'll add there. You know, one additional rule is the outside counsel. They also have the ability to access, decipher, update information, pull information. And all of these roles are permissioned. So the corporate sort of admin using Decipher can decide who gets to see what information they have access to, read, write. All those sort of permission sets are highly customizable.
Nice, nice. That makes sense. Let's see. I got another question. And I think I know the answer to this, but I'll throw it out there. Does Decipher handle patents and trademarks or other IP assets as well?
Yeah, we're a full spectrum IP asset management platform. So all the typical codified IP patents, trademarks, copyrights, trade secrets, invention disclosures, um, formulations. We've got clients that are in the biotech space, so we do, plant, PVPs, plant varietal protections. Some other more esoteric IP. And then, as Rob mentioned as well, a lot of our clients manage their commercialization licensing as well using Decipher. So things like joint development agreements,
Hmm.
disclosure agreements, licensing agreements, cross-reference directly with your IP. Those are managed by Decipher as well.
Oh, nice. All right, yeah, that sounds pretty good. Let's see. Okay, this looks like it's coming from a law firm perspective. If I have a client using Decipher, can I use Black Hills to handle my docketing and the docketing into their Decipher? I think this is one I can probably answer pretty easily, but obviously add to it if anybody wants to. But yeah, in fact, we do that type of thing for law firms where we've got the primary docketing into the law firm system and then secondary docketing into a corporate system. So yeah, totally available.
And I think another benefit Black Hills, brings is also the outsourced docket support. We hear from a lot of corporate clients that, they have limited resources, they have limited support. Sometimes, my paralegal, my in-house paralegal got struck from the budget.
Yeah, right.
For 2024. Really looking for additional outsourced partners to be able to help them, manage the docket as well. And again, that's a benefit that you guys bring to the table too.
Well, yeah, thanks. We try to be able to work that as a nice flexible expense line item that that also doesn't have sick days. I mean, our people do have them, but you have the redundancy and the automation that covers that type of thing.
Yeah, correct.
Let's see. We have, okay, I got another question here. Can you customize workflows or task creations in Decipher for specific docketing activities?
Yes. So one of the things that we realized when we started the company back in 2002 was that no one size fits all. Every patent is a patent is a patent, but everybody has their own industry, their own nomenclature, their own workflows, their own internal processes. So when we first architected our platform, we architected it with a extreme degree of configurability, such that unique data points that industry or that company might have can easily be added with a click of a mouse. Workflows, yes, we've got our gold standard out of the box workflows, but depending on upon that the company's particular workflow preferences or processes, we could easily reconfigure those to mirror that.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Cool. All right. Well, let me see. I think that's all the questions that I'm seeing. Any final questions out there? Going once, going twice. All right. So yeah, again, thanks Rob and Sean for joining. This has been really interesting, informative, and of course, you guys are always fun partners to work with. And for more information about Decipher or Black Hills AI, for those listening live or tuning in on replay, feel free to reach out. And of course, have a great rest of your week. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.